Okay, so in this exercise, I'm calling it jump to 5. I'm going to introduce dictionaries. So up to this point, we had crow's nest where we had a single string that was given to us, and then we introduced the picnic where we had multiple strings given to us, and we learned how to deal with those. And now we're going to be introducing a new data structure called a dictionary that allows us to map one value to another. A lot of times these are called key value pairs. You may have heard them called something like a hash table or a lookup table in other languages. Python calls this data structure a dictionary, which is just fine. So I'm basing this on an episode of a television show called The Wire, and in it, these drug dealers need to send text messages around. They need to, I believe they're using pagers or something like that, and they need to somehow obfuscate these phone numbers, especially because they're using burner phones. And so, how do you let other people know about some new phone number? And it takes the police just a little bit of time to figure out that the encoding algorithm that they're using, they end up calling it jump to 5. So when they have the number 1, they're going to jump over the 5 and instead encode it as the number 9. The 7 is encoded as a 3, and so forth. And then that just leaves what to do with the 5 itself. And so the 5 and the 0 swap places with each other. So this is on a standard US telephone keypad. So that is the basis of the algorithm. The way it's going to be applied is that we're going to give some text from the command line here, and it's going to find any numbers in that text, and it's going to translate those. So here, the 8, if we look, the 8 is supposed to swap over the 5 and swap with the 2. So the 8 in the output becomes a 2. The 6 here, the 6 needs to jump over the 5 and become a 4. So the 6 becomes a 4, the 7 becomes a 3, and here the dash is not represented. It's not represented in this table, and so it should remain unchanged. The dash comes right back out. So in a longer bit of text, this call 1-800-329-8044 today, exclamation point, everything that's not a number remains unchanged. And so we're going to have to figure out some way to go over each character in an input string and make a choice whether we're going to keep that character or change it to something that we're going to have to use this lookup table to decide what it should become. So to do that, I'm going to show you how to create a dictionary. I'm going to show you how to use a for loop to go over each character in a string. I'm going to show you how to check if an item exists in a dictionary, how to retrieve the value from a dictionary, and then how we could print a new string where we have encoded these numbers. And so one of the things I really love about this exercise is that it starts to introduce the idea of encryption. So how can you modify text so that it remains secret from people who don't know the encryption algorithm, and then how can it be decoded on the other side by somebody who is knowledgeable about the encoding algorithm. So obviously this is a trivially breakable encryption algorithm, but it is an introduction to encryption nonetheless. And so let's start off by talking about dictionaries and how we can use those.